Room 57 curiosity and a cracked door. Elliot wasn't a hacker. Not really. He was a curious computer science major with too much caffeine, too little sleep, and an ever-growing desire to peel back the layers of the internet like old wallpaper. Tor had become his rabbit hole of choice. On most nights, he simply browsed forgotten forums, digital graveyards of conspiracy theories, glitch art, and questionable marketplaces that sold everything from counterfeit passports to full-blown hitman services. He assumed most were scams. But it was a post titled "Watch Them Wait" live feed that first led him to Room 57. / no password required. Real-time stream. Nobody moves? Room 57 is always watching. Only rules. * don't share the link. * don't interact. Just observe / The link was short. Clean. Suspiciously so. .onion address, of course. No branding. No metadata. Elliot clicked. The feed. The stream loaded almost instantly. No buffering. No lag. Just a grainy, monochrome feed of a room. Fluorescent lighting buzzed. The camera was fixed in the upper corner, angled downward like a security feed. No sound. The room was maybe 10x10, with walls of decaying green plaster and no windows. A single, rusty metal chair sat in the center. And someone was sitting in it. They wore a black hood, their hands bound behind their back. Not moving. Not trembling. Just waiting. At first, Elliot assumed it was pre-recorded. Then the chair creaked. The figure shifted slightly, like they'd been sitting too long. He watched for an hour. The figure never stood. Never made a sound. No timestamps. No chat. No indication of who was streaming it or why. He bookmarked it. Days of watching. 3 days passed. Elliot returned to the feed again and again. Morning. Night. During class. The figure remained. Always in the chair. Always hooded. Sometimes slightly slumped, sometimes stiff upright. On the 4th day, there was another person in the room. Standing behind the chair. No movement. No introduction. The second figure just appeared between his sessions, taller, hooded, unmoving like a statue. There were no visible doors in the room. Elliot tried recording the stream. His screen capture software failed every time. Either it saved a blank video or a glitched out loop of white noise. He searched forums for Room 57 and found nothing recent. A few dead links. One comment thread from 2016. User 542 * whatever you do, don't interact. Grayman 77 * their mirrors. They only move when you do. He didn't know what that meant. Breaking the rule. It was day 7 when Elliot noticed the message bar. He hadn't realized there was a console window at the bottom of the feed, a place to type. No send button. Just a blinking cursor and a white text field. He hesitated. Hello. He hit enter. Nothing happened. The figures didn't move. The feed continued as normal. He typed again. Who are you? Silence. Then the camera flickered. The feed went black for 3 seconds. When it returned, the standing figure was now facing the camera. Not moving. Just facing him. Elliot closed his laptop and physically recoiled. Something changed. That night, Elliot dreamed of the room. Not just a vague recreation, the room. He stood in the far corner, unseen, watching the figure on the chair and the one standing behind it. In the dream, the hooded figure lifted their head slightly, and a voice not from them, but from somewhere deep in the walls whispered, "We are watching too." When he woke up, he realized he'd sleepwalked. His chair had been dragged to the center of his room. Mirror movements. He returned to the site later that afternoon. Now there were 3 figures. One in the chair. One standing. And another seated in the opposite corner of the room, knees pulled up to their chest, staring into the wall. He felt sick. He typed, "What is this place?" The feed flickered. The figure in the corner slowly raised a hand and pointed straight at the camera. He slammed the laptop shut again. The contact. A new email arrived on his school account that night. No subject line. Just an embedded image. It was a screenshot of his dorm room from the ceiling corner, same angle as the room 57 camera. The same kind of grainy, monochrome style. The same timestamp format. There was no sender. No trace of the email's origin. He checked the ceiling. No cameras. No vents. Nothing that could house one. But the angle was perfect. If someone had placed a camera in the corner, that's exactly what they'd see. Elliot didn't sleep that night. Research desperate, Elliot began digging harder. Searching archived forums, old past Ebens, darknet databases. He eventually stumbled on a defunct image board post from 2013, titled, "I escaped room 57, AMA." Most of the replies were trolls. But one stuck out. Asterisk, if you're watching the stream, it's already mapped to you. The room reflects your presence. The more you watch, the more it learns. The more it copies. Stop watching. It doesn't stop duplicating. Asterisk. He tried replying, but the site was long dead. The copy that weekend, Elliot's roommate, Jason, came back early from a trip. As he dropped his bag, he asked, "Dude, who was that girl in your room?" Elliot froze. "What girl?" Jason frowned. "The one sitting in your chair when I walked in. Thought you had company." "I been alone all weekend." Jason stared at him. "I swear, black hoodie." Didn't say anything. Just sat there. Elliot checked his laptop. The room 57 stream was still live. And the 4th figure had appeared. Sitting in a chair that looked just like Elliot's. The room becomes you. Now, every time he checked the stream, the room looked more familiar. The peeling green paint was gone, replaced by his dorm's beige. His desk appeared in the background. His chair. His bed. It was as if the feed was slowly morphing into his room. And the figures were no longer static. The one in the chair moved slightly. Breathed. The one in the corner rocked gently. The one facing the camera now had something in its hand, a phone, glowing. It was his lock screen wallpaper. Attempted escape. Elliot smashed his laptop. Destroyed the hard drive. Factory reset his phone. Changed passwords. Wiped everything. He even moved out of the dorm and stayed at a friend's place for a few nights. But it didn't matter. The dreams returned. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the room. Not like a video feed anymore, like he was inside it. Sometimes he couldn't move. Sometimes he was the one in the chair. Sometimes, he was standing behind himself, watching. Final transmission. One last email came through. This time to his new burner address. Asterisk, you've completed replication. Thank you for your participation. We'll be using your room shortly. Asterisk. Room 57 is always watching. There was a live stream link. He didn't want to click. But he did. The feed loaded. His new room. Empty, for now. Just a chair in the center. Waiting. Epilogue. Jason reported Elliot missing 2 weeks later. He swore he saw him once across the street standing under a street lamp in the rain, face hidden under a hood. But when he ran outside, the figure was gone. All that was left was a small scrap of paper, soaked and nearly illegible. The surgeon's auction. A message in the void. Amelia Cross had seen death before. She worked night shifts in the ER at St. Lanier's, a decaying hospital clinging to its last breath. She'd handled overdose victims, stabbing cases, even a child brought in with third-degree burns from a house fire. But it wasn't the gore that haunted her. It was the helplessness. The slow realization that some people weren't meant to be saved. So when the message came, she was already numb. It was sent through Secure Drop, the anonymous tip system used by journalists. Except Amelia wasn't a journalist. She had set up the account out of curiosity during med school, part of a rotation in digital privacy. She'd forgotten it existed. Subject asterisk asterisk you're invited. Asterisk. Body asterisk asterisk tonight. 3 a.m. EST. No guests. No VPNs. No screenshots. /redacted.onion link asterisk. The table welcomes you. She should have deleted it. Instead, she clicked. The Red Room. The website was nothing like the dark web marketplaces she'd read about. No cryptocurrency banners. No usernames. No login screen. Just a jet black background and a countdown, 00:02:14. Below it, live surgical event reserved seat, Dr. A. Cross. Her stomach clenched. How did they know her name? The screen went dark, then came to life with a live feed. A sterile operating room. Chrome tables. Bright surgical lights. No logos or identifiers. No audio. A patient, naked, unconscious, possibly sedated, lay on the table, chest rising and falling slowly. A masked figure entered, dressed in surgical scrubs that were entirely black. No logos. No face. No hesitation. A robotic female voice spoke over the feed. Welcome, guests. Please prepare your bids. The surgeon will begin shortly. The chat panel on the side lit up. /phantom /_reaver asterisk $40,000 for left kidney. /GH0STBR1D3 asterisk $80K for corneas, both. /unknown entry asterisk $120K for full liver, clean slice. Amelia's blood turned cold. It wasn't a show. It was a live organ auction. Observer or accomplice. She hovered over the disconnect button. Then she noticed. Dr. A. Cross, observer, status, verified. She hadn't typed anything. But her full name was there. And verified. She yanked the Ethernet cable. Nothing happened. The feed continued. She shut her laptop. Held the power button. Still, in her peripheral vision, she could see the glow of the stream reflecting on her walls. It wasn't on her screen anymore. It was somewhere else. And it was still playing. The first cut. A scalpel appeared in the surgeon's gloved hand. The patient's body convulsed slightly, not fully under. The cut began at the base of the sternum. The incision was clean. Surgical. Expert. She knew what that looked like. The chat box cheered. /dead royalty asterisk clean hands. Respect. /auto harvest 22 asterisk confirm blood type O+. /phantom _reaver asterisk upload scan for my courier. Suddenly, a panel opened beside the stream. A CT scan appeared. Labeled. Real. She recognized the hospital watermark, St. Lanier's Medical. Her hospital. Her patient. She had seen that scan 2 nights ago. The file room. Panicking, she returned to the hospital's internal records. Searched the patient ID number from the scan. Male. 37 name, James Teller. Brought in for alcohol poisoning. Discharged 2 nights ago. She called his emergency contact. No answer. She called again. Then again. On the 5th try, a woman answered. Hello. This is Nurse Cross from St. Laniers. I'm trying to reach James Teller. The voice on the other end cracked. You're calling now. What? You're 2 days late. The police already took a report. James disappeared the day he was released. He never came home. Amelia couldn't respond. The bidding war. Back on the stream, James was dead. The surgeon moved with mechanical grace, removing the organs piece by piece, placing each into labeled sterile bags. The feed occasionally flickered to shipping crates, ice coolers, GPS trackers. The chat was filled with /auction SEC *transaction confirmed. En route. /GH0STBR1D3 as always, immaculate. /dead royalty * the table thanks you, surgeon. Then something changed. The camera zoomed in. The surgeon held up a slip of paper from the patient's folded clothing. Written in blood red ink. Dr. A. Cross, up next. She vomited. The table reaches out. She tried every trick she knew: Tor relays, data purging, DNS flushes, even physically destroying her modem. Still, the stream found her. It played in the background of her apps. It glitched into video calls with her mother. She received a package the next day, a surgeon's mask, still warm. No return address. Inside the mask was a Polaroid. It showed her sleeping in her apartment. On her chest was a message, written in surgical marker. Reserved for dissection. Underground connections. She finally reached out to an old professor, Dr. Wallace, once an expert in medical ethics and dark web case studies. She explained everything. His silence was unnerving. Then he said, "You never should have clicked the link. I didn't volunteer for this." You don't volunteer. They choose. Who are they? He exhaled. They call themselves the table. Ultra-wealthy collectors, organ traffickers, some say former military surgeons. But they only invite those with medical backgrounds. Observers. Witnesses. You're part of the ritual now. I'm not participating. Wallace's voice dropped to a whisper. You already have. He hung up. Ghost patients. Back at the hospital, things grew worse. Patient records were missing. Blood bags had barcodes she didn't recognize. Names she didn't remember signing off on. Twice, she found patients on her roster who had no beds. No presence in the building. Only charts. Charts with her initials signed. On her last shift, a janitor whispered, "You know they come through the morgue first, right?" She turned. Who? The ones the table takes. They leave through the cold door. Always the cold door. He smiled with blackened teeth. Then vanished. The final stream. The last time she saw the stream, it wasn't on her computer. It was in every reflective surface. Bathroom mirrors. Glass windows. Even the metal tray at work. Always the same, the operating room. The surgeon preparing tools. An empty table. Waiting. One night, as she passed a bus stop, the digital billboard flickered. Then glowed. Her face appeared. Tonight, Dr. Cross, lot #457. She ran. But the stream followed. Wake up, on the table. She woke in darkness. Lights buzzed overhead. Straps dug into her wrists and ankles. Sterile cold air filled her lungs. And then she saw him, the surgeon. He loomed above her, face still hidden. But something new was there, a mirror. Positioned directly above. She looked up and saw herself wearing the black surgical mask. Holding the scalpel. The reflection smiled. Her body didn't. Aftermath, classified. Weeks later, a new doctor replaced her at St. Lanier's. No one spoke of Amelia. Her apartment was cleared. Inside, the only thing left was a Polaroid. A new one. It showed an operating table. A masked surgeon. A fresh corpse, sliced open, no organs remaining. Scrawled on the back. Asterisk, the table thanks you, Dr. Cross. You were always one of us. Asterisk. Epilogue. Some say the surgeon is a myth. An allegory for the corruption of medicine. But those who work ERs, those who stay long after midnight shifts, whisper differently. They whisper about the black masked figure. Breadcrumb.exe. The download. Ryan was 17 when he first heard of breadcrumb.exe. It was on a dark web forum called Dirt Node, buried in a subthread about non-indexed live mapping anomalies. Most of it was jargon, security researchers talking about darknet crawlers, hidden nodes, and strange patterns in GPS logs. One user, Ouroboros3, posted a zip file with a single sentence. Asterisk, every dot is a body. Every line is a route. Don't follow it unless it follows you first. Asterisk. Most users ignored it. Ryan didn't. He was a wannabe white hat hacker, constantly diving into onion links and cracking abandoned software puzzles. He saw breadcrumb.exe as a fun urban legend, like Polybius or Sad Satan. He downloaded it to his offline sandbox. Just to see what it did. The interface. When he opened it, there were no prompts. Just a full-screen map, black background, with gray outlines of streets. A red dot blinked in the top left corner. Then another. And another. Each dot began to move, leaving a thin trail behind like a breadcrumb path. There were dozens, no, hundreds crawling across the digital map like blood cells through capillaries. Then Ryan noticed something strange. The layout of the streets was familiar. It wasn't just any city. It was his town. Real-time or pre-recorded. At first, he thought it was random code, just a simulation. But then he zoomed in on one of the moving dots. A tooltip appeared. Subject ID asterisk hashtag 0x2932. Status asterisk locating. Route, Elm Ave Grace Street, Halbrook Park. ETA, 5 minute. Status, containment failure. Elm Ave was 2 blocks away. He checked Google Maps. That was a real route. As he watched, the dot paused on Grace Street. Then turned right exactly when a police siren echoed from outside his window. It wasn't a simulation. It was live. The abduction marker. An icon appeared, a white X over one of the red dots. Its status updated. Subject, hashtag 0x2932. Status, removed. Condition, cold. Last seen, 22:16. The dot stopped moving. Ryan refreshed the map. The X remained. He pulled up the local news Twitter feed. A 9-year-old girl had gone missing near Halbrook Park 20 minutes ago. Ryan's breath caught. He didn't know what this was. A tool for traffickers? A sick ARG? Law enforcement gone rogue? But one thing was certain. The program was mapping live abductions. The ping near home. He considered deleting the file. Then another dot appeared, this time, closer. Much closer. 2 blocks down. Near the abandoned pharmacy. He zoomed in. The subject ID flickered. Subject ID, hashtag 0x2933. Status, stalked. Last direction, approaching Cedar End Bluff, his street. His heart pounded. It couldn't be real. He ran to his front window. A black van was parked outside. Lights off. Dash. The white line. The screen updated. A new feature appeared, a thin white line, slowly drawing from the red dot, directly to his house. It wasn't random anymore. It was tracking him. He checked the subject ID. Hashtag 0x2934 status, intake initiated. Route, active. He yanked the battery out of his laptop. The screen didn't go dark. The map remained, glowing faintly in the black. And the red dot kept moving. The call panicking, Ryan called his friend Jeremy, a junior cybersecurity analyst who once helped shut down a malware honeypot. Dude, it's tracking me. Slow down. What's tracking you? It's called breadcrumb.exe. Shows abduction pings. Live ones. There was silence. Then, you didn't run it, did you? I sandboxed it first. Then opened it locally. Jeremy whispered, it doesn't matter. You ran it? That's enough. What is it? Whatever you do, don't follow the breadcrumb line. Don't go where it tells you. But it's coming to me. No, Jeremy said. You're going to it? The memory hole. Ryan tried every antivirus. Nothing worked. He wiped his drive. When he rebooted, the wallpaper was replaced by the map. Breadcrumb.exe reinstalled itself. He unplugged the computer. Still, it remained. His phone buzzed. A notification from an app he didn't install. Breadcrumb update v2.7 installed. Welcome, subject hashtag 0x2934. The white line now pulsed. Faint whispering played from his speakers. Not code. Voices. Some calling his name. Some sobbing. Some, laughing. The route deviates. He thought maybe he could fool it, leave town, break the route. He got in his bike and rode 3 miles south, toward the highway. His phone chirped. Route recalculated. ETA, 13-minute. Intersection, Whitehall Cemetery. He hadn't entered a destination. Breadcrumb was rerouting him. He threw the phone into a storm drain. It chirped again from his jacket pocket. There was a backup. The ghost in the app. That night, Jeremy called. His voice was trembling. I tried digging into it. Breadcrumb is older than I thought. It predates Tor. Old ARPANET whispers say it was built as a locator protocol. Meant to track Black Ops soldiers gone AWOL. Then how did it end up online? No one knows. But there's chatter about a ghost dev, someone who disappeared in 1998. Left a signature in the code. A signature. Yeah. It's in hexadecimal, encoded under the subject IDs. I cracked it. What does it say? You are the map. You are the path. You are the final breadcrumb. The final ping. Ryan tried one last escape. He rode to an old train yard, threw his devices onto the tracks, smashed everything, and waited in darkness. But the map was in his mind now. He could feel the red dot moving. Closer. The white line burned behind his eyes, pulsing like a heartbeat. Then, silence. He turned around. A figure stood behind him. Not a person. Not fully. It had no face. Only a black screen embedded in its chest, displaying the same map, his dot blinking rapidly. The final log entry glowed. Subject ID, hashtag 0x2934. Status, retrieved. Aftermath. Ryan's disappearance made the local news. His bike was found in the yard. His room was untouched. But on his desk, where his laptop used to sit, was a piece of paper handwritten, shaky. One sentence, asterisk I was never the observer. I was the breadcrumb asterisk. Dash epilogue. To this day, breadcrumb.exe remains elusive. Security researchers say it doesn't exist. But sometimes, a post appears on underground forums. No comments. No source. Just a .zip file and the same message. Asterisk every dot is a body. Every line is a route. Don't follow it unless it follows you for the Library of Screams. A routine shift. Nora Finch had been a librarian for 9 years. She preferred dusty shelves to people, catalogs to conversations. Her domain was a small public library in a town most GPS systems forgot, quiet, isolated, a place where time moved slower. Her favorite part of the job was the night audit, staying late, alone, when no one else remained. Just her, the shelves, and the low hum of the fluorescent lights. So when she found an unlabeled USB stick left on the returns desk one evening, it felt like a curiosity, not a threat. She should have ignored it. She plugged it in instead. Dash the folder. The USB contained a single folder. Scream Library _archive. Inside, thousands of files. All .wav format. Each labeled by coordinates and a timestamp. 43.23 N /79.12 W /1994-07-17.wav. 48.00 N /3.22 E /2001-11-09.wav. 36.12 S /149.20 E /1973-02-05.wav. No descriptions. No metadata. No context. She clicked the first one. It was a scream. Raw. Human. Full of pain. But not like anything she'd heard before. It had layers. Echoes behind the main voice. Others screaming in chorus. Something beneath the agony that felt wrong. She clicked another. A man screaming in what sounded like a cathedral. Faint organ music in the background. Then silence. She clicked 10 more. They were all different. All screams. All impossibly real. Dash the coordinates. She fed the coordinates into Google Maps. They were all real places. One scream matched a remote forest in Oregon. Another was an oil rig in the North Sea. A third, a scream with no background sound at all, was in the middle of the Sahara Desert. Some locations had historical events tied to them, mine collapses, military accidents, unexplained deaths. Others had nothing. Just blank spots on the map. She tried one near her own town. A lake about an hour north. She found an old newspaper clipping in the archives, 1978, boy disappears under ice, never found. Her scream file was labeled that exact date. Dash the voices recognize her. She began listening to the files compulsively. Something in them called to her. Over time, she noticed a pattern. Some screams paused. Not just stopped. Paused, like the person knew they were being listened to. She'd rewind. And sometimes, the scream would change slightly. A different inflection. A breath that wasn't there before. Then came the whisper. One night, between two scream files, a voice cracked through her speakers. Nora, she froze. No file was playing. No background apps were open. But the voice had said her name. Not screamed it. Whispered. Begged. Dash the librarian's addiction. She stopped going home. She brought a sleeping bag to the back office. Day staff thought she was just working overtime. But she was cataloging them now. Sorting the screams. She found patterns in pitch, decay, even language. Some screams were in English, others in guttural dialects she didn't recognize. One sounded reversed. When she flipped it, the scream spelled out a phrase. "Do not listen." It was already too late. She started dreaming in sound. She'd close her eyes and hear screams playing in reverse. Some nights she woke up screaming though her mouth never moved. A new file appears. One night, the folder refreshed itself. New file, 42.12n/_73.22w/_2025-07-22.wave. That was today's date. And the coordinates were her library. Her stomach turned. She clicked it. Silence. Then a door creaked open. Then, her voice. Screaming. Not just in pain. Screaming for her life. It was her. The exact cadence. The way she dragged her vowels when terrified. But she hadn't screamed. Not yet. Confirmed future. She called the police. Told them someone had broken into the library, left disturbing audio. 2 officers came, mildly annoyed. They played the file. The scream played again. One officer raised an eyebrow. "That's your voice, ma'am." "I think so." He nodded slowly. "Can't help you unless there's a crime." She begged them to stay the night. They agreed to post a car out front. But by 2 a.m., they were gone. She found the squad car parked across the street, doors open, engine running. Empty. The only sound left, a fresh .wave file on her computer. 42.12n/_73.22w/_2025-07-22/police.wave. They escaped the files. The USB was no longer required. She could unplug it, destroy it, wipe the computer. But the scream files kept appearing. Now on her phone. Her tablet. Even her e-reader. Once, the library's ancient intercom system crackled to life and played 3 screams simultaneously, all in perfect harmony. She tried covering her ears. But the scream seeped in anyway. Not through sound. Through her bones. The origin. She posted to a private librarian forum asking for help with an audio archive of unknown origin. One reply came. A DM from someone named voxarchivist _9. "You found the library? But it found you first." She asked what it meant. They sent a single image. It was a screenshot of a tour site. Plain text, "The Library of Screams. *A global archive of every scream ever uttered. Categorized. Preserved. Replayed *. Status, incomplete. Seeking, final recordings. The recording begins. Nora began hearing a low hiss wherever she walked. In the aisles between books. In the vents. In the silence between her thoughts. Then came the recorder. A physical one. It appeared on her desk one morning, old, analog, red light blinking. A note taped to it. "Please submit your final scream. Thank you for your contribution." The library? She tried destroying it. It reappeared. Every time. Closer to her bed. The soundproof room. She finally decided to fight back. She built a soundproof box in the basement storage room, using old archive cabinets and foam insulation from an abandoned construction site. She placed the recorder inside and screamed into it for hours. Nothing happened. But when she came back the next morning, the device was gone. In its place, a folder sat on the desk. A CD inside. Labeled Nora _final.wave. She didn't listen. She burned it. Then she found it again in her glove box. Then in her jacket. Then inside a returned book. The ending loop. The last day she was seen, Nora wheeled a cart of unsorted books into the basement. The lights flickered. She didn't come back up. A patron found the library open, music playing softly through the speakers, Beethoven's Seventh. When authorities searched the place, they found no body. No sign of struggle. Only a single item left behind. A USB stick. And one final file. 42.12n/73.22w/_dot_wave. It plays exactly once. A voice. Hers. Saying. I live in the silence now. The scream beneath all others. Welcome to the archive. /long static. / the sound of 1,000 voices screaming at once. Epilogue. The USB stick now circulates on hidden dark web forums. Some say it's cursed. Some say it's a government psyop. Others claim it's not a library at all but a beacon. A map of fear. And one day, when all the screams have been cataloged,